This is me, competing in my first ever jiu-jitsu tournament. My coaches had set out a bulletproof plan for me to win. Get on top, pass guard, and maybe at the end when the other guy gets desperate, then go for a submission. But I had other plans.
So how did it all start?
Well, it was like any other day. I walked into the gym, having just watched 2 hours straight of YouTube videos. I was ready to dominate. I was ecstatic. Finally, I was going to compete in my first ever jiu-jitsu tournament, and I knew just what to do.
Oh, he's oh my God! Are you serious? Oh my God!
But how do you even do that? After extensive training and practice, I was ready to bring my new move to the gym.
So it's Monday, 5 days before the tournament. Fair to say, I'm not feeling confident. I tried the buggy choke a couple times in rolling. Today it was gi, and in the gi it's a little harder to hit the buggy. I mostly rolled with higher belts today, but I tried it against one dude who's a little bigger than me, same level, same like white belt, from half guard, and I just couldn't get the right angle to get that uppercut that you want under your leg. So, not feeling great about my chances.
This video has been hacked by me, Jaden Claude Van Damme, because I was gonna do this whole boring spiel about how I almost got the buggy choke on this day, and then today I got the buggy choke. But man, I could not give a bollocks. I'm just gonna get straight to the tournament day. And as you can see, my first match was recorded with a calculator. I don't know what was happening. I start on bottom because I pulled guard. Yes, I know, I'm a loser. He almost mounts me there, and then he takes my back, kinda? No, but I reverse him. Look at that. You can barely make it out because it's using 14 pixels amongst the whole screen. But now I'm gonna try to get to my body lock passing. It looks like I have a blue belt on, if you can see that, but I don't. It's just for the ref to know that I am the guy in blue to give points to. Here I go, front headlock. He felt like he was gonna get up here, and I could not get a choke. So eventually I just let go. Right here. And then we get back to the feet, and you guys will figure out why I pulled guard. I cannot wrestle at all, and I do not know what to do when someone grabs my collar. I do not know how to break a grip to save my life. I only like no-gi, and the only reason I do gi is to train more of my no-gi stuff. I try to feint, and then look at, oh my god! I could have broken my neck. I get thrown absolutely all over the place. I think that's 2 points for him. He tries to pass my guard. I start to invert on a leg like I'm Mikey Musumeci or something. You can't even heel hook in this tournament because it's only white belts. I escaped though. Man, I can't believe this was recorded on a calculator. But the clip ends, and I eventually end up winning the match on points. So I am 1-0, and no, I did not buggy choke him. For gi, I was just gonna warm up, and then in no gi is when I was gonna start buggy choking people. Time jump. I didn't record my second gi match, but my second gi match was against the guy who currently has me knee on belly, and I'm cradled like a little baby with my ankle being held up. This guy is a blue belt. How he got into the white belt division, I'm not sure, but boy did he mess me up. He said he'd been training for 5 years. I've really only been training for about a year, maybe, probably like 3 months consistently now. But either way, this dude in the gi just grabbed my collar so tight, picked up my leg and threw me on my head, and then armbarred me shortly after. So now we are in the no-gi setting, and I was like, okay, this is my time. This was my first match in no-gi. I was gonna buggy choke him. I was gonna upset, but here, yeah, it's not going so well. He did basically the same thing that he did in the gi match by just taking me down immediately and throwing me on my head. But as you can see, now I am giving up my back. I'm trying to do it to get to a bottom half guard position, but he's got his legs underneath my body, and I am just in a horrible position. He is very wiry, that's not a word. He's very wiry. He felt very strong in these positions. I could not establish a frame at all, and I just seemed helpless. I'm sure my grandparents watching in the crowd were wondering if I was going to come out of this alive. Here, he goes mounted, or S mount, looking for the triangle. That did not feel good when he pulled on my neck like that. He's sitting back for the triangle. I think eventually if you can listen to his coach is giving him the hacks. His coach is the GOAT. He was very nice to me afterwards, his coach was, but he is just a cheat code for this guy. So the only reason I'm surviving is because I kind of have my other hand in there, but now he's going to sit over and maybe look to attack. Armbar, he's trying to scoop under, but I'm using my right knee, and watch his coach.
Under his arm. Like, look at him. Under his arm.
His coach says, look at me, and then instructs him. As you can see in the back, he's up 6-0. And he's going to try to scoop my arm. He wants to stay on top. I keep on getting him over to the side. So eventually he just ends up sitting to his back. Maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, right here. And then I'm safe in the triangle. He's trying to scoop that far leg. Listen to his coach. And I lose by armbar again very, very quickly. That guy showed me levels. I knew there were levels, obviously. But I thought I was going into a white belt tournament where there were other white belts. And I felt pretty confident as a white belt because with no stripes, too. Like, I'm got no stripes on my white belt. I thought that I'd be going against pure beginners, but clearly that was not the case, and that man dominated me thoroughly. Very nice guy afterwards. Their whole team was very nice, and you can see that coming up in my next consolation match that I didn't even know I was going to have. Here we are in my consolation match, and since I was already out of the tournament, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a buggy choke. If it means me losing, I will get a buggy choke, no matter what. Buggy choke or die. So you see me, not only do I pull guard like an absolute pansy, I pull bottom side. You can see I kind of let him into that. But I had pulled it to the wrong side. I like buggy chokes on the other side. So what do? I'm trying to invert underneath him like that. But I get put in a Darce position. And I'm like, oh no. And this guy is a training partner of mine, Kang. And he has choked me with this before. If you can see in the far left, that blue belt is now sitting, watching my match intently, and there goes his coach as well. I get out of the Darce, but now he is on my right side, but he has his arm in a position that makes it tough for me to go for it. Here I was like, okay, let me get back on top, but he is controlling my head, gets into side control. My knee is up, but he passes into mount. So now that is 7 points for him because I pulled bottom side control. And here I'm thinking maybe I should escape and just win the match because I want to win the match, but I also want to get a buggy choke. So I'm on the bottom. He has my head in a great position for him, controlling it well. Still looking for front headlock attacks. And you can see the coaches and the blue belt start giving me tips. They tell me to knee cut. But you see here I kind of grab the foot and pass. They're hyped for me. Yeah, so I'm listening to their corner advice. You can hear it. They say knee on belly. I was like, okay. Because it clearly worked against me. Crossface, I do it. Knee tight. The mount is there. I get the mount, so now I have 7 points. I'm just trying to listen to their advice here. He tells my legs to be tighter in the mount. I do it. I was basically just using these guys as a cheat code to keep me in a good position. So they've been giving me all this advice. I look over at them. You see them nod. I looked over and winked at them and smiled. I was basically saying, like, thank you. We restart in mount in the middle. I look Ezekiel, which I've literally never finished. The coach gets up and leaves. I don't know. I don't know if my Ezekiel attempt had anything to do with it. I've literally never finished an Ezekiel. There I look over at the points, and it is tied 7-7. He bridges. I go to side control because I was right knee to his hip, they were telling me to do. Let's go, he said. I'm looking for the Darce here. I kind of wanted to get him on his other side so I could try a buggy choke from top side. Just staying on top here. Still looking for the Darce. The mount is still there really whenever I want it, so I think eventually I go to it. Like right there, yep, knee on belly mount. But before I can get the points, I go to S mount to look for a triangle. And I think I have it here. As soon as I lock up, I'm like, okay, that's tight. I pull back, but his hand got loose. Like his other arm got loose out of the choke, so I knew that it wasn't going to happen. So I bail, and I end up in bottom side. 54 seconds. So I'm like, okay, this is the position for the buggy. But I think Kang was aware because I have hit Kang with one buggy before. I'm trying to like just get anything close to resembling a buggy. Bicep punch. I don't know what he was saying there. Bicep punch. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never seen that. He's saying 30 seconds, got out of there. But he, for some reason, the ref didn't give Kang points for this. So we're still tied 7-7. Like, isn't this a reversal? We're still tied 7-7. So with, like, no time left, I'm like, okay, I can do it. I'll get the buggy choke. But I'm not getting up on my side, and it is my wrong side. So we have to go to a sudden death overtime. First one to score wins. So then we get to the overtime, and like I said, first to score wins. I had been pulling guard the whole time, so now I had to wrestle because I didn't want to pull guard and get passed. So I had to put on my big boy pants and wrestle. I go for it right now. I turn the corner and I get it, and I pass into side control. I get the 2 points. And I win my consolation match. A big applause from my homie, my blue belt homie over there, who's super cool the whole time. I guess we can watch me get my arm raised. I was undefeated in the matches that were not against that blue belt in the back there, who absolutely smashed me and everyone else. He armbarred literally everyone he faced. So shout out to that guy. And yeah, it was fun. Doing my first jiu-jitsu tournament. I was meant to make this video like all nice and edited and story all laid out beautifully, but I just couldn't be bothered, really. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching, and be ready for a breakdown on Monday about some fights from the weekend. So yeah, like I said, thanks for watching and peace.